Welcome to the NBA here on 2K Sports. Friday Hoops Fest coming up next. It's going to be Dwayne Wade and the Miami Heat up against the New York Knicks. And now it's game time. To call the action, here are Kevin Harlan, Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke. I'll be back with the HP Halftime Report.
All eyes are on the Eastern Conference in this game as the New York Knicks play this one at home. 2K Sports brings you this broadcast of the NBA. This is Kevin Harlan, and with me, Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg. So the opening lineup for the Heat, Chalmers and Wade are the 1 and the 2. Chris Bosh and Udonis Haslem down low. And it's LeBron in at the small forward. And for the Knicks, Stoudemire and Turioff in the middle. Chauncey Billups out there with Tony Douglas. And it's Anthony in at the small forward position.
Spoelstra was in a really odd and tough position last season. Never before had there been a bigger free agent talent swing. And he was tasked with getting 3 huge superstars to mesh as a unit. He's done a nice job.
Bosh with it. Tipped. LeBron against Stoudemire. James. That falls. Nice feed that time from Dwayne Wade. Back to Spoelstra because he was the first coach, Steve, to deal with that much talent. He had some very unique situations pop up along that road.
Well, he sure did, Kevin, and he had to coach that team under a microscope all season long. The basketball world was watching, and that Miami team went through some ups and downs, but in the end, I think Eric Spoelstra did a fantastic job, and he looks to be one of the bright young coaches in this league.
And Doris Burke. With Mike D'Antoni. Doris?
Kevin, to sum up his goal, he said that everyone needs to have the same mindset on defense today or they won't have success. He warned his team that they're up against a unit that will capitalize on every mistake they make so they can't get caught daydreaming on defense. Stay awake, Kevin.
Great stuff, Doris. Thanks. It sounds like, Clark, the most important number for them today is opposing shooting percentage.
Well, one of the best ways, Kevin, to contain a dangerous shooter is to keep the ball out of his hands. Deny him the ball. Deny has to be what you're focusing on.
Steve?
Well, the key is if you're going to deny, then you've got to anticipate the rotations. And so as long as they're schooled in the game plan tonight, and they understand what they're trying to accomplish, they can be aggressive and deny and then go ahead and make the rotations from there. Well, he found the open man on the perimeter and got the ball to him.
Carter kicks to Anthony. They're moving it around. Chalmers against Douglas. There's the feed to Stoudemire. He's picked up by LeBron. And it's Anthony with the jam. Anthony's got his second bucket of the game to go. Here's LeBron. Right around, 3 minutes left here in the opening quarter. Gets the bucket from 20 feet away.
Nice start here. Taking 5 shots, only missed 1 of them.
How good is Carmelo Anthony, guys, especially from that triple threat position. He faces up, and he can either pull up and shoot the ball or put it on the floor and get to the rim.
And Bosh picks him up defensively. Here's Miami now. They lead by 4. Douglas with the steal. Hooked away. For the finish. Oh, and the jam by Wade. What a play. Now let's check out the Sprite Slam Cam.
Boy, he's got enough hang time there to put a little something extra on that one. 2 scoops of ice cream after that.
Well, that's a play that's going to be remembered from this game, that's for sure.
I think that was more like a banana split, Clark.
That's good. 6 points for Carmelo Anthony.
Offensively, he's been really effective so far, making his shots count. No wasted motion.
Well, the big story for the Knicks this past year was the acquisition of Carmelo Anthony. Having already signed Amari Stoudemire, the Knicks made the deal for Anthony and all of a sudden had one of the great 1-2 combinations in the league.
And here's Carter. He kicks to Douglas. Here's Stoudemire. Nails the wide-open jump shot. And back to Melo and Amari. They just need to build the right supporting cast around those two.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, those are two foundational pieces that are all-stars. So plugging in around them will be the next step. They're in the process of doing that, too. I mean, New York definitely reversed their fortunes with the moves they made last season. That offense just keeps on clicking.
It sure does, Clark. They're getting high percentage looks and really taking advantage here.
And the Knicks decide to take their first time out here.
You knew the big three when they came together, guys, that they would be good. But they did a pretty decent job, I thought, of finding complementary players to fill out the roster after a big chunk of the salaries went to the big three.
Catching up on the changes for New York. Ronnie Turioff, he's checked in for Jeffries. Walker comes in for Tony Douglas. And Chauncey Billups has subbed in for Anthony Carter. Now here's Walker. Billups passes to Walker. Billups dishes to Walker. Good look. And yes, a nice assist from Billups. Walker's got his first points in this one. Go back to the 8, and Clark, you're right. They searched out vets that knew how to fill it and need and really build a team around the stars.
Well, and that's critical because anytime you have the core group together, it's about finding role players who are going to accept their responsibilities on the team and accept the fact that sometimes they're not going to see the minutes that they would otherwise like. But they handled it well. They got a good roster around their stars, and it paid off.
Here's Stoudemire following the basket by LeBron James. Over Bosch. Stoudemire, and that is good.
Well, they've done a lot of their damage from mid-range here, guys. I mean, knocking down those shots with regularity.
Yeah, how about 8 of their last 10 points, guys, coming off that mid-range area jump shot. So, shows you don't have to be at the rim to score.
A nice shot by LeBron.
He's off to a terrific start, yet to miss. 6 for 6.
Steve, I think he's poised for a huge game. I mean, he's giving them a big lift offensively.
Wade, good.
Well, you've got to get the ball out of his hands, bring an extra defender, and force somebody else to beat you.
I agree with you. Make him give it up.
Well, with the defense recovering into the lane, you've got a wide-open shooter at the three-point line.
And they're scoring pretty well as we conclude the first quarter. Heat lead by 6.
And they've done a nice job here offensively to establish a rhythm and a pace to this game.
And I like that they're finding ways to score. Playing well here, Steve.
And we'll be back in just a moment. And the first quarter is in the books. Second about ready to get underway. Here's Walker.
Thinking back to LeBron, you'd have to think he'd go about the way he left Cleveland slightly different in retrospect if he had a chance to redo it and rewind a bit.
So with Wade on the bench, this is who Eric Spoelstra has on the floor. We've got James Jones. Ilgauskas is out there with Joel Anthony. Then there's House, and it's Miller in at the shooting guard. And Clark, getting back to what you said about LeBron and that whole July of last year when he made this decision and made it so public, I think Cleveland fans were probably ticked off on many levels. They didn't like the show. They didn't like the way it was handled. They didn't like finding out over the air. And Steve, I'm sure you could agree with that.
Yeah, I don't think it was so much his decision to leave as a free agent. It's just the way he went about it. He could have handled it better. He knows that now. He's apologized. But because of the way it was handled, I think Cleveland fans will not be feeling too good about LeBron for a long, long time.
And let's catch up with our sideline reporter, Doris Burke. Doris, over to you.
Hey, guys. LeBron James drew unprecedented criticism last season after leaving the Cavaliers for the Heat. And while he admitted he might change the manner of his departure, he can't have any second thoughts in his decision. He said prior to the season, winning appeals to me, and it's all about winning. I'm not about saving franchises or saving this or that. I felt like this is my best possible chance to win. That's why I'm here. And guys, they came close in their first try. You have to think the Heat can win it all if they stick with it.
There'll be a factor, no doubt about it.
And you know, the criticism will wither away once and if they start winning titles. I mean, rings always win out.
Now, that's why they say winning is the best deodorant.
Clock at 4. Here's Miller. The good-looking shot from the wing. And the Heat lead by 8.
I tell you what, right now that mid-range jumper serving them well.
Yes, it is, guys. That's 6 of their last 10 points coming from that mid-range area.
Jumps up, rips down the breakaway slam.
Well, that's great. You take advantage of that turn. Turnover and convert at the other end.
Absolutely. I mean, points off turnovers this time generated off the steal.
Well, Miami had such a turbulent season last year as far as the drama that surrounded that team. But they were consistent and steady on the road, and they ended up with the best away record in the Eastern Conference.
Looking at who's out there now for the Knicks. Amari Stoudemire. He's checked in for Turioff. Douglas comes in for Bill Walker. And Anthony Carter subbed in for Chauncey Billups. Eric Dampier's checked in for Miami. Now here's Williams. Douglas kicks to Stoudemire. Jeffries stuffs it through.
How about that? Nice and easy right there.
Yeah, he didn't even try to do it too much.
No fancy stuff. He'll just take his 2 points, go back and play some defense.
And back to Miami, you know, Clark, road trips aren't easy when you're the villains of the NBA. And there's no doubt that wanted poster in the NBA has got a picture of that Miami threesome up there. Huh?
I agree, no doubt about it. But I think that also helped them come together. You know, teams typically do a good job of bonding when they're on the road. That us against them mentality, nobody for you. And quite honestly, really good teams and players enjoy winning on the road more than they do even winning at home.
And they answer right back with that 3.
It's a good old shootout. The fans are enjoying this show.
Carter kicks to Douglas. Fires from deep. The offensive rebound. Puts up the baby hook. And Stoudemire with the nice bucket inside. Stoudemire's got 6. Kicks to House. Miller outside. No up. Knicks will take it the other way. Deflected. Moving it up. Jeffries finishes the break with a slam.
Off to the races, just really getting up and down the floor.
Not much the defense could do there, guys, but let them go.
Here is House. 1:21 left to play here in the half. Here's Jones. Shoots it. The shot by House is no good. Very tight ball game we're witnessing. It's stolen by Jones from 11 feet away. Drained for 2 points. And the Heat lead by 6. Knicks on offense. 6-point game. Here's House. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
Heads-up play, preventing the easy lay-in.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, he saw it was a free layup, didn't want to give that up, so he fouled him to force free throw.
And the Knicks last season did not use their bench very often, kind of typical of a Mike D'Antoni team. He relies heavily on his starters, and that was the case a year ago.
Looking at who's out there now for the Knicks. Tony Turioff, he's checked in for Jeffries. Anthony comes in for Sean Williams. And Chauncey Billups has subbed in for Anthony Carter. Bunny shot, that's good. And that's 15 points for LeBron. Steve, back to what you were saying about that New York Knicks bench. A big part of that was they were so short-handed. Remember Clark when they got that trade and trying to, bring Melo up to speed on what they were doing?
No question. I mean, they got Melo that trade, but it also left a few players tired because they lost some of their bench depth. Could have been why they saw so many late season injuries as players were maybe a bit worn out. You think about Chauncey Billups going down late. Interesting discussion.
Chalmers, he's checked in for Eddie House. And there's the whistle, fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. And the first one drops. And so Bosch nails both of them.
And this is how you build a lead and protect it. Be tough and get to the free throw line.
Yeah, they've dialed up the attempts here in the second quarter. And you said it, Steve. I mean, they've been the aggressors. They've been in attack mode the whole way. He's not going to make a mistake when he gets in tight. That's a good hoop there.
They're running a little bit of time off. Looks like they're going to play for the final shot.
Steve, you're right. If nothing presents itself, hold for one.
Now Wade gets it off, and he knocks it down.
Ooh-wee, Kevin. That was a big shot. To extend their lead and send them into halftime with momentum.
And so we wrap up the first half.
What a game for LeBron. He has 15 points, then he's buried one three-pointer in the course of this game.
Fridays are always better with a little NBA action. Welcome to HP at the half. Miami up on top against New York. It's been a scintillating open court attack. They hold a major advantage in fast break points. LeBron's been going at it effortlessly against this Knicks defense. What he's been able to do from the field has been nothing short of spectacular. Only a select few players in the league can shoot the ball like that. And battling nonstop, the New York Knicks. They've kept the defense off balance with their great passing attack. A nice start for Amari Stoudemire. They've also got some great production from Carmelo Anthony as well. These two have been the stars so far today, both leading their teams in scoring.
The second half just about to get going here. Here's Billups. Melo and Amari at the forward sets. Tony Douglas out there with Chauncey Billups, and it's Turioff in at the 5. That's the 5 for New York right now. Stoudemire, no good.
Well, not a bad effort there.
He'll usually knock that one down.
Stoudemire openly talked about the fact that he was considered to be a lesser player than Chris Bosh during free agency last year, but he had the much better season. His numbers were really impressive.
Let's go now to the sideline and catch up with Doris Burke. Hey, Doris.
Hi, Kevin. Well, one of the big turning points the Big Three was an early season loss to the Dallas Mavericks. Their record was 9-8 at that point, and as it turned out, the Mavs would be their finals opponent. Wade said of the team meeting that followed that loss, "At that meeting, letting us know to be friends and to be real with each other. If we see something wrong with our game, point it out. I think we all looked at each other and held each other accountable with our games. That was a significant moment in the Heat season."
Thank you, Doris. That game served as a wake-up call for the Heat early on.
You know, I remember that game. You could see the Heat were a different team after that loss last year, and I think it helped them get to the finals.
Anthony against LeBron. No good. Knicks trailed by 11. Even numbers, 4-on-4. Douglas for three. The basket good off the assist from Billups. Billups has got his fourth assist in this one. And back to Stoudemire's assertion of how the free agency thing went down. You think he played Clark with a chip on his shoulder last season?
You know, he very well. Could have, Kevin. I mean, things didn't quite unfold the way he anticipated. There were some naysayers out there, a little bit of controversy, but at the end of the day, he showed his professionalism when he got between those lines. He embraced it, took it on, and handled it extremely well.
Well, the grimace of pain tells it all. He's hurt, and let's hope he's okay.
Boy, you hate to see this, Clark.
You sure do. I mean, tough to tell how bad it is just yet. Hopefully not too serious.
New York calls timeout.
Well, it's been such a long, tough stretch for Knicks fans, but last season was a good one. Getting to the playoffs and finding talent in Amari Stoudemire and Carmelo Anthony, a couple of superstars, and they handled their business on their home floor pretty well.
Outside, Billups. Miller with the double team. Here's Anthony. The basket good off the assist from Billups. And that's 11 points for Carmelo Anthony. You know, Steve, you're right. Those superstars you just rattled off have given the basketball fans and the Knicks themselves brand new life. And now they got a product, Clark, that people want to go out and see.
Exactly, and a pretty impressive home record that I think will improve now that those guys will have more time together. Carmelo Anthony and Amari Stoudemire, 23 and 18 at home last year, and I expect that number to go up.
Too open that time. Made it look too easy. Anthony's got 13. Douglas against Wade. The tray, and it's Chalmers that time on the assist by Wade. And the Heat lead by 9. Balanced scoring, Clark and Steve, for them. They're moving it well.
Yeah, you love to see teams share the sugar. Everybody getting a touch, everybody enjoying an opportunity to score. That makes it a lot of fun for everybody on the court.
Yeah, it sounds better when you say it than watching it. Okay? I like better when you say it. Sharing the sugar. Right, Steve?
Yeah, pass the cream, too. I mean, while you're at it. I mean, this has been something to watch. I mean, just everybody getting involved.
So it's Miami now, after Amari Stoudemire's bucket.
Quite the interesting season for Chris Bosh last year. I mean, obviously more team success than he really enjoyed in Toronto, but individually, his numbers dropped a bit. I don't think it bothered him, though. He wanted to win.
Well, they're on a hot streak now. They can't miss, and really trying to cut into this league.
Well, it's been a fantastic comeback effort, guys, and they've actually shot their way back into this one.
It's stolen by Wade. Haslam dishes to Chalmers, and he finishes the break with the lay-in. And it's an 8-point Heat lead.
That's a tough matchup, and yet he found a way to get off that shot. Impressive.
You know what, guys? I mean, those are really the kind of challenges he loves. I mean, he's that kind of competitor.
Well, they've got to do something defensively because he's been unstoppable.
And defensively, Steve, your only choice now is to double him. I mean, I don't think there's another option. You know, he always gets the ball in the right spot. Down there, Kevin, because he excels at doing his work early and establishing that position inside.
Some nice passing. Got a piece of it. It's stolen by Wade.
We've seen him now give away 4 possessions. Got to squeeze the orange out there. Take care of the ball.
And stolen by Billups. Knicks trailed by 8. Covered by Miller. Jumps up. And Billups gets it to go. Billups has got 7 points. Now here's Wade. He's got 15. Defended by Douglas. Wade passes to Chalmers. Bosch, headed by Stoudemire. Chalmers against Billups. Clock at 6. This one for 3. And there's Mario Chalmers on the assist by Wade. Wade's got 3 assists in the game. Douglas kicks to Billups. He feeds it to Douglas. Outside Anthony. Puts up a 3, and the basket good. He's got 16.
He answers right back with a 3 of his own.
Well, you can see it. They're getting into it a bit. A little mano-mano here. One-upsmanship taking place.
And offensively, a great show for the fans through the first 3 quarters. It's been a fun game to watch. What can you say? LeBron James, what an impressive... As the 4th quarter gets going, let's swing it over to Doris Burke, who has our Sprite Spark report. Doris?
Hey, Kevin, our Spark Award goes to the Miami Heat. There have been no missteps along the way, and they have shown great heart and hustle so far. It's been a big factor as to why they're in the position to win this thing. Guys?
Thank you, Doris. Here's Wade. So with LeBron on the bench, this is who Eric Spoelstra has on the floor. We've got Joel Anthony. James Jones is out there with Chris Bosh. Then there's Dwayne Wade. And it's House at the one. Bosh, that's good.
And the shootout continues.
Trading buckets both ways. I mean, offense definitely the focal point for these teams.
It's stolen by Anthony. House dishes to Wade. Gets the bucket.
You know, when he plays well, generally the team does too, and that's exactly what we're seeing here today.
Outside Anthony, defended by Jones. Anthony against Stoudemire. Douglas with 3. Miami grabs the miss. They've led by as many as 14 points. It's tipped. Taken away by Anthony.
Now, that was just a heave down court. I don't like their chances.
Jeffries kicks to Stoudemire. Over Anthony. He dishes to Walker. Beyond the arc. They get it back. Jeffries. That's good.
How about the determination right there on that putback?
The Heat leading by 8. Timeout call, the Heat. So the Knicks. Buckner comes in for Amari Stoudemire. Anthony Carter subbed in for Tony Douglas. Mike Miller's checked in for the Heat. And let's get this update now from Doris Burke, who's across the way on the sideline.
Thanks, guys. I got a chance to hear what Eric Spoelstra was saying to his team. He laid one thing out there for them, saying, Now is the time to eliminate any chance of a mistake. We've got a good lead. Don't take any unnecessary risks or commit a silly foul. Smart basketball from here on out.
Here's Carter. And Bosch picks him up defensively. Out of bounds. They'll keep possession.
He tried to squeeze past the defender, but ran out of room.
Here is Jeffries. Now Anthony defending. Shot clock at 5, and that one's through. 18 points for Carmelo Anthony.
Stood out for his trouble. Even though they're struggling a little bit, doing his part. Knicks having lots of trouble defending against Bosch.
He has 8 points and also a block shot. You go back to the finals, I think Bosch was a factor on the floor. He didn't have the best shooting percentage, but he got better as that series wore on.
But going back to Bosch, guys, in the finals, he's as inconsistent as the shooting percentage, but he had stretches where he was really good. And he had a game-winning shot in Game 3. I thought he was overall pretty solid for the Knicks last season in the playoffs.
3 missing. He hits the section from the line. Well, he beaten by 9. Here's House. And some very quick points from out of possession.
Another fast break move. They're just outrunning their opponent here.
You know what, Steve? I think the defense has left themselves vulnerable, and they're learning the hard way. Their speed definitely kills.
Out of bounds. And they retain possession. Just for New York. Stoudemire's checked in for Neff. Sean Williams checked in for an ball. And Tony Douglas is subbed in for Anthony Carter. And a switch here also for Miami. Wade's checked in. Here's Wade. Tries to three up the inbound. Again, the Heat.
Not sure what he was thinking there, because that was not a good shot.
Yeah, it would help if he was back capable of making it. Stay in the lane.
The finish. Oh, the Wade. What a play. Here's another look with this right slam.
Well, that's a dunk you would not see very often. You won't pass that by.
No doubt about that.
I wish he would, though. You never see too many of those.
Yeah.
He's giving them a nice scoring option.
It's going on Wade. Goes up. One
I don't know what to say about that. I mean, he went reverse on him. Beautifully done.
Can't even do that one shot.
Just let the chick tell the story, guys.
The Knicks decide to talk it over. They take it by 15. Around 50 left fourth quarter. This one. Around 50 left fourth quarter. Gets it to go. That's going to work out. Got to walk in. They know how to get that shot. Wade. He's just about Walker. And Wade takes it again from deep.
Boy, this is a shooting exhibition, guys. I mean, he's not wasting any of his chances.
Back to Will Williams. Watches it. Back to Wade against us. From the top of the key. Shot by Wade, no good. Trail around by 13. Williams gets the bucket. Williams gets by 5 points in the fourth quarter. And here's Jones. Wade outside. And another three.
What's the problem there? The defense is a bit late. Two straight now from long range.
That one goes in. 21 points for Wade. Deflected pass. It's done by Wade. Breakaway jam.
Another bucket, and here's just pulling away here now.
Yeah, no doubt about it. They're sprinting to the finish line.
47 seconds left in the game. Anthony pinned down. Douglas for the team.
Beautiful finish there, and a superb finish.
So West Miami. Now here's Wade. On Bush in Tampa. It's a spot that's out in the set by Wade. And the Heat lead by 17. And there's a 4-second difference from the shot clock to the game clock. Shot's good by Walker.
Boy, set him up beautifully with that. It's his room service style.
And the Heat all-time hit. They're ahead by 14. 20 seconds left in the fourth quarter. What do you think, guys?
Well, they're obviously going to win, but this timeout may be about some substitutions.
Well, they may just want to make sure they don't do anything really foolish at the very end here.
Catching up on the changes by Miami. Gausis just checked in for Joel Anthony. And Hansel comes in for Chris Bosh. Gary House subbed in for Dwayne Wade. And signed to Mike Anthony.
Use this run. Wow. It makes much difference now.
And they hit that snooze button a little too much because they showed up late to this game.
Off-target that shot. And so Miami takes this one by a big margin. How much of a critical of this one, Clark?
Not at all. I mean, they showed up not just to play. They showed up to give great effort and to win, and they did both.
Thank you for joining us for this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. For Clark, Stephen Doris, and the rest of the crew, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Last but not least, here is your Jordan player of the game, Dwayne Wade.